Hello, everyone. It's your old friend Shane.
I'm AJ.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is the Eternia FOUR. Topic number 1. Today, a little before we recorded this episode, was the 3rd annual Mattel Creations live stream event, a virtual experience that celebrates fans while simultaneously taking a behind-the-scenes look at Mattel's various new and exclusive collectibles. For Masters of the Universe fans, there was a lot of anticipation for this year's event because of the new movie coming out this June 5th. So, now that the event is over, what are we feeling towards the reveals and the event itself? And we are going to start with the He-Mania himself, AJ.
I was hoping you weren't going to pick me, but I will take the job. Like Shane just said, we recorded the live stream event ended a couple hours ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. Yeah. And I was doing news past that, like a furious madman on He-Mania.com. And I haven't really been able to soak in the information of what I saw, but I guess just generally just flying off the cuff here. It was interesting. First, it started late. I was like, what's going on? All of us was going on. Everyone was hanging out on Jay's channel because Jay was doing a live stream event. We're all wondering when this is going to start. And I think it started about 20 minutes later. And but it was interesting. I enjoyed the event itself. It looked like they had a large crowd there, and it was like a live studio audience. They tried to hide them in the beginning in the dark, and then they raised the lights and said, look what's around us. That was okay. We got to see Jay from Geek Dead Life and Pixel Dan. They were there for the Motu section. But in regards to Masters of the Universe, because that's what we're here to talk about, overall, I think I was a little disappointed. First, I figured they were going to talk about Chronicles. They were going to talk about First Ones. Jay hates that name. Jay, I just saw another new label.
Why do you really say? Why are you saying I hate that name?
First Ones for life.
I was instructed.
Yeah.
I was instructed by Mattel to say no. It is not the First Ones. It is the core, the kids' core line. That's what I've been instructed.
Well, that guy only was hired by Mattel for the weekend, and it is true. It's a core line, but it is a classification, just like Chronicles is the collector line. I think Kids and Chronicles and its core and collector. I think that's the actual dealio. But I digress. They didn't mention any of the new lines. They didn't show off even. They didn't even look like to have any of the movie figures on display. And I figured this was a perfect opportunity to have them on display and then maybe reveal one of the figures that we haven't seen yet. Like Mechaneck. We saw Mechaneck on the back of the packaging for the Skell Knight figure, for the kids line, the kids core line. You know, I really wanted to get a better look at that. And don't tell me it wasn't ready, because Mattel has this awesome 3D printer at Mattel. They actually could print prototypes like within an hour, painted. And what is really wild is they could do accessories even. It was so wild. This was on YouTube somewhere. They could actually print 3D print chain links. So if a figure had like a chain accessory, it actually could 3D print it. The technology is amazing. But they didn't show any of that. They had look like in the background a lot of toys on display that were old. And then what they showed us, well, is great in regards to Origins fans, right? Because with Origins, the big deal was that everyone wants the vintage line to be finished. And there's always we've been waiting forever for an Origins 2 Bad figure. And we haven't gotten a 2 Bad figure. Well, I think a lot of people were also hoping for, who else is missing, Mike? No, we got Stondar finally.
2 Bad is your last main one, and then you get into Twistoid and was it Rosa? All the tops basically,
Right.
and then of course
The giant
laser
right.
power and all the powers of Grayskull folks.
Yeah. So what was cool is we did get another Origins vintage figure. We got Laser Power He-Man. Laser Power He-Man was a figure that wasn't released in the US, but released overseas. So that was a good start. But then after that, for the Masters of the Universe figure section, that was it. That was the only figure we saw. And then they moved on, and then they revealed something that was kind of cool, finally movie related. It was the Brick Shop Masters of the Universe movie Castle Grayskull, and it came with these little figurines. It looked like it had Tila and Evil Lynn fighting on top. But you got to see Prince Adam. You got to see these cool figurines, and it's kind of like a Lego set, but it's not really that. But you get to build the Castle Grayskull. So that was movie related, and then we got to see this crossover between Monster High and Masters of the Universe called Skull Lecter is the subline, Skull Lecter, and Skeletor is the actual name of the figure, and that looks pretty cool as a crossover doll. And finally, they wrapped it up with this very interesting Masters of the Universe crossover with James Jean, called the Floral He-Man and Battle-Cat, and the Coral Skeletor and Panther. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to make sure we put it up. I love art. It's very artistic, but boy, especially that Floral He-Man. Holy cow. I swear I had to make sure that I wasn't high and completely sober. This is not an acid trip. What you're seeing is real, and you could go ahead and put that on your shelf. And I don't know, it's not up my alley. I'm not against all art figures. I do have the Virgil Abloh Masterverse Masters of the Universe Revelation ones, the ones they say are
Chocolate He-Man.
Chocolate He-Man. I love those because I could display them in more professional atmosphere. You have a nice little wooden shelf and a nice wooden brass lamp. It looks like they're sculptures versus action figures. So it looks a little looks a little more professional if you want action figures in a more professional environment. But these are not for me. And I'll end it with where was the movie stuff, right? We got to see a trailer, but other than this little playset, there was no movie stuff. I figured it'd be chock full of movies. I expected Nicholas Galitzine, well, maybe not Nicholas Galitzine, but one of the heroic warriors to come out and say, this is my figure, and it didn't happen. I was sort of disappointed in that regard, and they never, mentioned anything about Masterverse, which would have been nice too, but I'm not surprised there. So those are my thoughts and feelings. Who am I going to pass it to? I think I'm going to pass it to this round to Mike.
All right. You covered everything there, AJ, so I don't know. See, but in regards to, the floral stuff cracked me up because they went chocolates, right? And now they go flowers. It's like you're setting these guys up they can gift their girlfriends He-Man and have chocolate and flowers. They're good.
That is awesome. Here's some chocolate and here's some fatties. Awesome, Mike.
Oh, man.
Valentine's Day gifts for your honey.
Covered for Motu.
I wish I had the applause button.
You can add it in the edit, right?
Yes, I can.
Actually, there is an applause button. They added it to the to the.
I know. I've used it on He-Maniacs.
Right.
But I could go looking for it. I didn't really want to stop his flow.
Yeah, all good.
All right,
all good.
No, now we're doing it. Now we're doing it. No, that's not it.
We don't have chocolate and flowers.
Continue, Mike.
So, I actually missed the live. I was in the middle of an appointment, so unfortunately I couldn't watch it live. And when I went into the live on YouTube, I was about an hour behind. And I tried to rewind, which I thought was weird that it didn't allow you to rewind. And I'm like, what the heck? So then I jump over to Jay's stream, and Jay, who's live, it lets me rewind. So I rewind, and the crazy thing is I go back only about 30 minutes, and there was the beginning. I was like, oh, whoa, okay. I guess everybody's running a little late. Watched Jay, thank you for your coverage. You did very well. Appreciate that. Looked like you know, again, seeing, you know, Dan and Jay from Geek Dad Life there was really cool. And them talking about personal items from their collection. I think that was really cool that Mattel invited them to bring stuff from their collection and show off. But much like you, AJ, I was also fairly disappointed. There were opportunities that were just big misses, especially on a movie year. Where's the movie stuff? They could have shown what was already shown for Chronicles and the first ones, Core. And like you said, when they went to that movie trailer, I thought immediately after the trailer, there was going to be an actor right there like, haha, surprise. And then show off, you know, like, I don't know. Like you said, I think Mechanic would have been a perfect character to have, you know, forget the actor's name, but there, show it off.
James Wilkinson, I think.
Okay, that's right. He could have been there, showing off his figure, got a whole reaction out of that. Would have been amazing. They didn't go that route, and it just kind of fell flat. The art figures, circling back to those real quick, they're origins. So I gotta get them, unfortunately. As a completionist, I heard they're $100 a piece, which is gonna have to throw those on the credit card because, ouch, it's a couple $100. But
wait, you have to get them, but do you like them?
You know, they're not bad. The Skeletor, the coral one's pretty cool.
Yes,
He-Man, the floral, it was okay. I get, you know, and I appreciate the art. I'm sure down the line, I'm curious to see if this is going to be one that ends up in a DD's, or is this one going to be $400 in the future? You know, it's kind of a will it or won't it kind of thing. You know, so it's up in the air. I'll get them for sure. The brick shop, and you know, I get what Mattel is doing, kind of keeping it in-house, but I miss Mega Constructs. I'm sorry, but I was a huge Motu Mega Constructs fan. When that line first came out, I was buying everything. And then when it kind of died out is when I stopped. Like, I have the sword, like the full Sword of Power one. That's the last thing I think I bought. But yeah, man, like the brick shop looks, you know, I hate to say it, but a little bit cheap looking. For, you know, it's a cool movie Grayskull, but the figurines, they don't have any sort of articulation. They're just there. They remind me of the little, like, the figurines that would come with the Micro Machines back in the day. So it's kind of just, yeah, I would say disappointing in that sense. With, you know, I think if you're able to show a graphic where there's He-Man looks a little odd. He's got like whitish hair, and I wasn't too thrilled with that. I thought it looked weird. And then the Monster High Skull, what was it? Skullector or something like that. That was a cool figure. I liked, and I think we talked about this in our last He-Maniacs live, was the boots, right? The Snake Mountain boots. Those are really fun.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, right. And overall, I thought it was a cool looking doll. But again, I heard the price point for that was a $70 doll. And I mean, I don't collect Monster High. I don't know what those go for, but if that's the average price, and from what I've heard, is that's not right. I think Shane, you mentioned that you had someone. It's not the average price for a Monster High. So kind of weird they went that high with it. So yeah, kind of summarizing up, a little disappointed as a Motu fan. I have a feeling it will be much like years past, where probably next month we're going to get like a checklist sent out, and that'll have all the different characters and summertime and springtime releases. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let's pass this off to old Shaner.
All right, boys. So full disclosure, I was in a meeting for 2 hours as the event was going on. I did have it on another screen off to the side, and I was watching it on mute. But after starting 20 minutes late and then 15 minutes of talking, I will say, I was like, oh, shit, Rufio. Rad. That's cool. We finally saw our first Motu figure, which was the Laser Power He-Man. I did get pretty hype on that. And as soon as the event was over, I did pre-order him. So I was stoked on that. But I agree basically with everything you guys said. I was a little disappointed. I was definitely underwhelmed. I was hoping, and I understand why they didn't, but I was hoping when that Motu trailer started, it was going to be a new trailer. And we would get to see something new. To the points that you guys have already made, thought we would see some movie toys or something after that, but we didn't. We got Monster High Dolls for $70. I just peeped around online, and I mean, that's definitely higher than they go for on a normal basis, which seems insane to me, but neither here nor there. I do think they look really good. I am stoked on the Laser Power He-Man. I think he looks great. As far as the coral and the floral, I loved them. I thought they were awesome. I liked them infinitely more than the chocolate one that they did for Revelation. I am 100% going to buy them. I do agree that $100 price point is very steep. But as like, I got a degree in art, so I do really love the art itself. I love the paintings that they showed him do. When I was in art school, all I did was draw cartoons, and or if we were doing like oil paintings and stuff, I would just do them of my figures to kind of see like a branch off of something that I experienced myself. I thought they were actually really cool, and I'm pretty stoked on them as these sort of like special one-off arty farty pieces that I can, to your point, AJ, like probably talk my girlfriend into putting in the main living room and not down here in the basement area. You know what I mean? Like they're cool and they're unique and they're fun. So yeah, again, left underwhelmed for sure. Got a figure. We'll grab those 2 figures, but to the point that we're all making, I could not believe in the year 2026, the year of our Lord He-Man, that is going to run wild all over the place this year, that we did not get more movie stuff. So, yeah, I will throw it to our good pal Jay.
AJ, I got some visual aids. I got some visual aids that we can throw up.
Well, just remember, this is also on Spotify and Apple. So
I'll be very descriptive.
Okay.
But we got some visual aids.
Everybody,
help us with this. All right. We got some visual aids. All right. So here we go. So, first of all, very, very excited that we had the Mattel Creations revealed. And the crazy thing about this, to be perfectly honest with you, is we all had the same questions as we were waiting on bated breath to find out what was supposed to happen. It didn't happen. I was sitting there with everybody else, and we were all wondering, when is this thing going to reveal? When is it going to start? It literally went to a countdown. It literally like passed that countdown. 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, it was still going on. And to the point where I actually had about 1,500 people on my stream basically asking the same question: where is this event? And it was absolutely bonkers. I couldn't keep up with the chat. It was impossible. It was absolutely impossible. Finally, it started. And it basically, here's the one thing that I really enjoyed. I'll be honest with you. Out of all of the revealed events that have been done so far, this one was the least polished, but the most honest. And I think I actually really enjoyed that. I like the fact that it was live. Okay. One of the things I really don't appreciate about Hasbro Pulse, like spotlights now, they're all pre-recorded. They don't talk to anybody live. They don't really do anything. They're all literally just segments. I really like the live segment of this. I really like the fact that You know, there was some awkward moments. Trisha Hirschberger was there at the beginning. She kind of like just stood there and was waiting. Like I was hearing Mike in my head, and we're waving. Like there were some great things about that. I really enjoyed that there were multiple hosts. I think that was the biggest thing for me. I think that having Dante Bosco there was really cool. Of course, anybody who grew up in the 80s and 90s, I mean, Hook was a huge thing for all of us. And Rufio was just the coolest kid, right? And it was really cool to have, like I said, a Lost Boy talking about freaking toys. And I thought that was really cool. And then we had some of our favorite toy tubers there, which was awesome. We had Pixel Dan, of course, Master Universe aficionado, one of the first toy tubers that we ever, really was the very first to start the stuff, right? We had Jay of Geek Dad Life, right? And again, it was a little bit awkward because none of them really knew what to do. They weren't really instructed on anything. We were kind of like standing to the background, not really engaging and waiting for the hosts to bring them in. It was an interesting little parlay. We even had Kyle Peterson, wonderful Master of the Universe fan, but at the same time, huge WWE fan, right? And we had, hosts for Monster High. We had hosts for the K-pop Demon Hunters. We had Hot Wheels hosts. We had Barbie hosts. It was a really great collaboration for all concerned. And then the actual reveal started. And if you want to throw up the visual aids here, I just wanted to go through a couple of these. So once everything started, it really got the ball rolling. So the first thing, of course, was for all of us, it started off with Master of the Universe. And when I first saw that on the docket, on the actual itinerary, I was like, freaking awesome. We're gonna get news about Chronicles. We're gonna get news about the Core Collection. We're gonna get news about Origins. We're gonna get news about Mattel Creations. We're gonna get so much cool stuff coming up for Master of the Universe on the very first segment. And at first, I was like, holy crap. There's so much Masters of the Universe. They had to bring in 2 different toy tubers. They had to bring in Jay of Geek Dad Life and Pixel Dan. Holy crap, that's crazy. And then the biggest thing that really caught me, and I said this on my stream, and it's the funniest thing. I'm now going to call them crotch boxes. Those things are literal crotch boxes because all I could see on those shiny metal boxes were dudes' crotches. That's all I could see, like quite literally. It was a bit of a mishap right there.
Who's paying that much attention to that?
I think you saw what you wanted to see.
I totally saw nothing but dudes' crotches. It was crazy, man. Belts, crotches. It was just
Jay's crotch boxes.
Those are the crotch boxes. They will forever be known as crotch boxes. Though my chat was they were howling when I said that. They were just absolutely howling. And then the real problem though with those weird boxes though is because they're made with privacy glass. So what they did was, with the way privacy glass works, if you shine a light behind it, you can see the object inside. So they had these little pedestals which they shone so you could actually see what was inside. The problem was the reflective nature of these boxes was also interfering with how clearly you could see the reveal. Luckily for Master of the Universe, it wasn't really a problem because people were standing away from it. But when it came to like more Barbie stuff and more Demon X Hunters, literally you could see people in front of it. You could barely see the figures. So that was a bit of a mishap there. But the first reveal really got to us. It was laser-powered freaking He-Man. Oh my God. I think we've been waiting for this for such a freaking long time. Of course, he's one of the figures which did not get released here in North America. So very, very sought after. I'm actually pretty surprised he's still available right now. Hitting refresh, I would have thought that he would have sold out by now. Seriously. Here's the thing, though, and I don't think it's because he's not going to sell out. I think it's because there was no indication that any of these figures were going to be sold after the show. There was no indication of any of that. So I think a lot of people who did not catch the show and were not aware of the actual reveal event were just caught off guard. Right? Like none of the toy tubers were talking about it. He-Mania.com wasn't talking about it. Toy Habits wasn't talking about any potential sales at the end of the episode. So we were all blindsided pretty much at this. And there's also the idea that it's getting closer to the end of the month, and people just might not have this in their budget, not realizing that there was an actual release today. there was also people who were just kept asking the same question. Is this a Club Grayskull? Is this a Club Grayskull release? I'm going to wait until tomorrow. That was the biggest comment I got on my live stream. I'll just wait until tomorrow. It's Club Grayskull. A lot of people do not know that this is not Club Grayskull. So tomorrow, I really expect that this might actually go pretty quickly. So if you haven't jumped on it today, expect a bit of a war. But to my surprise, that was it. To my surprise, that was the only reveal for Master Universe proper. Then we went on to another reveal. By the way, there's an actual poster which is available right now if anybody's interested for laser-powered He-Man. It's available for $25. So that's fascinating as well. Here's something that a lot of us kind of missed. There will be a Barbie and Master Universe more Barbie and Master Universe crossovers. People in the chat were saying it was She-Ra, but we already had She-Ra. So Master Universe and Barbie are going to start having crossovers. So I'm thinking we're going to start seeing Evelyn. We're probably going to start seeing Tila. We're probably going to start seeing many of the Great Rebellion. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of those. And wouldn't that be great? Because obviously with She-Ra,
you could get a He-Man Ken too.
That would be too. Exactly. We could be getting a He-Man a Ken Skeletor. We could be getting a whole bunch of them, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how that expands. And then later on, of course, we did get a glimpse at the James Jean Masters of the Universe collection. I am absolutely enthralled with the Skeletor. He looks freaking amazing. Like, he looks just incredible. The roots, they look so cool. I like the way Panther looks. I think Panther looks amazing. But then we get to the Jade. I didn't even realize it was Jade. Apparently, these are Jade. It's Jade He-Man and Jade Battle Cat. Yeah. If I end up getting this, I'm only going to.
He's called Floral. His name.
Yeah. The floral versions. But
floral
if I'm getting
and Chloral.
Yeah, floral and coral. That's right, coral. I'm only probably going to get Coral Skeletor because he looks badass.
Yeah,
Floral He-Man. I'm sorry, I can't take him seriously. I just can't.
Poor Shane.
He looks great though. You know what I mean? What James Jean has done with this and his beautiful artwork. Okay, that's the one thing I'm not going to take away anything. But James Jean, incredible artist, absolutely incredible. But realistic, I just can't take this one seriously. I really can't. The floral power sword, no. It's not. I'm not. I can't do it. I just can't. But his artwork.
I've got the flowers.
The flower power.
The flower.
but I mean, look at that. It is gorgeous artwork, though. Honestly, like that is beautiful artwork. But I just can't. I can't do it. I just can't. I cannot for the life of me. But the Coral Skeletor. Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. This guy looks awesome. I love the white eyes of Panther. Like that is one possessed Panther. And I can't help but thinking the Upside Down. You know what I mean? From Stranger Things. The first time I saw this, I thought it was under another Stranger Things figure.
Definitely has that upside down look to it.
Yeah, it does. And it's even got a callback to Soul Calibur, right? This sword is literally the Sword of Nightmare, right? So again, not knocking the artist. I think the artist is incredibly talented. But if my money's going anywhere, it's going on Coral Skeletor, who looks absolutely like frightening. I love it. So that's it. Unfortunately, Floral He-Man. No, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on Floral He-Man. It's just actually, I'll be honest with you. If he went with the original colors, that actually might have been a little bit better because looking at the original colors, they're not really that bad.
Yeah, but you needed more orange in it. Yeah,
you need those warm colors to offset all the cool that he's got going.
Yeah, but when it went to this jade look, it just everything started like really homogenizing. It was just a weird effect. It didn't really work. Whereas his original artwork, that's what I would have gone for. Sadly, but yeah, and then you could actually own some stick. It's a sticker sheet, which is cool. He redesigned all the characters into a singular sticker sheet, which was freaking awesome. So you can see his take on Evelyn, Merman, Orko, all the characters, Hordak, She-Ra, and Man-E-Faces, my favorite, and even the Sorceress. So there's a whole bunch of different collaborations they've done, and again, great stuff from James Jean. But as Shane mentioned, yeah, man, I would just draw my action figures, right? So I can really relate to his story. You know what I mean? Exactly the same. Then we got around to the Monster High Skeletor, and I'll be honest with you, because we actually hadn't seen the character, I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't really sure what they would do. If it would be a bone face, if it would be bald. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what to expect. And honestly, I have to say this is a pretty good character. I love what they did with the face. It's more of a jack-o'-lantern kind of thing. They have rooted hair still, which really keeps in style with the characters of Monster High. The Havoc staff looks awesome. The armor set looks awesome. I love the fact that there's actually chainmail or scale mail, if you will, right? And those boots are crazy with the high heel talons. That's a lot of fun. Seriously, this is a great character, and it is Skeletor proper. It is not a female, like a Monster High character in cosplay. No, it is actually apparently Skeletor, because if you go down to the actual story on the back, it actually does say that this is the Lord of Destruction, strutting around, screaming, "I'm the goat," right? So this is literally Skeletor. So amazing. And the problem is the price tag. It's $105 Canadian, and it is $70 USD. And even for diehard Monster High collectors, that is a big ask. $70 is quite high, but it is a very specialty crossover doll. So if you were one of those completionists like Mike, you're gonna have to grab this. But $70 is quite the ask. However, I will say that I think the She-Ra Barbie, what was she? She was like $30, if I remember correctly, She-Ra Barbie. So this one being 50. A very different.
Yeah, she was up there, and motherboard for Revelation was 65.
Yeah, there you go.
Revolution. Yeah,
right.
So I think it's on par. Considering she's 12 inches, I don't think it's too bad. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's an okay price, but for Monster High collectors, it is quite pricey. It's actually quite pricey. And in closing, I do have to say that all these figures are up on Master's Instagram if anybody wants to take a look at them. But in closing, I do have to say I was a little disappointed with the offerings for Master Universe. I think it could have done more. And just to circle around to the last little bit, the Master Universe Brick Shop exclusive Castle Grayskull from the movie edition, it's a lot smaller than the original Castle Grayskull, a lot less complicated in order to build, but it does actually capture the look of Castle Grayskull. But now I want to put it to you guys, because we have the opportunity. What are your thoughts about these new characters? Because some of them look like they have limited articulation.
Well, why don't you finish up? We're kind of forgetting
pretty much where I'm
Eternia FOUR. We sort of all four do it. And then...
Yeah, this was my closing. This was my closing.
Okay, I might have to edit this down somewhat, and we're spending a lot of time on this. But go ahead. So you're done, but you're curious what we think about these figures?
Yeah, the figures themselves, because a lot of them are just static figures. They're no longer have the same articulation that original Mega Constructs figures do have. Like, for instance, Battle Cat, like Cringer. Cringer is in one pose. Like, that's pretty much what he's staying on. I think the same thing with Beastman, the Skella. What are they called? Skellanites, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're also in one pose. I think even Adam is in one pose, right?
Well, I think they're great.
Stink, personally. I think they stink, and I think they look like knockoff 3D printed stuff that you find at a con. No offense to anybody at Mattel.
Like I said during my little segment, I feel like they're very cheap, and it reminds me of the 90s little Micro Machines figures. Remember, they had the little Star Wars sets which came with figures very similar to this that just had zero articulation, and it just looks like they're going backwards. And I really wish they would have just kept Mega Constructs going with these style movies.
So what I was saying is, I think they look great, but for a board game, right? I would be so in love with these for game board pieces, but for playthings, if I was giving it to a child and I was that child, I'd be a little bummed. That especially who is that figure right there holding the sword in the air?
Is
that
Tila?
Tila?
Tila, it looks like.
Okay, that's Tila. So in order for her to do a sword battle, you got to sort of put her horizontal, in a Superman position. So no, as someone who would want to play with these, no, I'd be very disappointed. But if these were game pieces, would love them to death.
So what you're saying, AJ, is that everybody should buy one of these to replace their Monopoly pieces with.
Yeah.
So
I would do that.
I'm very much in the same boat as AJ. I think that they do look great, but I think that as playable pieces, they're terrible, right? For example, you see the Scale Knights, they only have one pose each. But if you wanted to do something else, look at this strange-looking Scale Knight right here. What the hell is he doing? Is he falling? Like, it just, like, what is he doing over there? It just seems so odd, right? And if you look carefully, there's Zor. Right there, right? She's hidden in the vines, right? So again, it's an interesting take on this version of Castle Grayskull, and it is a wonderful tie-in to the movie. But and maybe this is a better shot there, AJ. Maybe this is the one you're talking about. It's a little bit darker, right? But yeah, it's going to be a hit and miss. I wonder what the price point is going to be on this. Because again, it looks neat, and as a brick collector, I think a lot of people are still going to want to collect this, but it does leave a lot to the imagination. So yeah, overall, I have to say I was a little bit disappointed in the offerings for Master of the Universe, and I was actually a little bit more disappointed as well that none of the actual designers got to speak this time. It felt very rushed in certain ways, also because they started late. They had a lot of technical difficulties, so it took a lot of time to get started. But none of the designers got to speak. They only spoke in those small little segments that they had pre-recorded, and I missed those. I missed talking to Sam and talking to some of the other Monster High designers and getting those little insights, those little details, right, that you wouldn't otherwise get. So I thought that was a missed opportunity. But other than that, it was an enjoyable show, I think.
I just realized I never even mentioned Laser Power He-Man after all of that. But yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he looks awesome. And to bring up your point, Jay, that I don't know. Maybe for me it wasn't a surprise that they were selling, because this is the third Mattel Creations Live event, and they always sell figures during the event.
Yeah, last year I was gonna kind of interrupt, but didn't want to disrupt the flow. But yeah, Hero went up right after he was announced. Like, didn't even have to wait till the end of the stream last year. Like, literally, they're like, "Oh, here's Hero. Okay, he's up on the shop." And we're like, "Whoa."
Yeah, that was my confusion this year. That's what I was expecting, and then it never came, and I didn't know it was going to happen. And then I got a text message that was like, "Go, go, 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 go! He's available."
This time they waited till after the show, which might be a good idea. But
yeah, but that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? So no matter what, there was a lot of confusion based on that, right? It would have been it would have been nice in many ways if. But I get it. These are reveals, right? These are reveals, and they did what they did. So anyway. I guess that's something we should all keep aware of the next time, that anything that's revealed possibly could be on sale right away. But the Brick Shop one is not available. It won't be available until April. So it is interesting how they do these things.
Yep. All right, guys, you ready for topic 2? We'll try.
Oh my God! I swear, Jay, we're gonna put a timer on your ass.
I know. He said he was going to be brief.
You guys complained that this is going to be one of the shortest episodes.
Talking took 3 minutes.
Jay, you said you were going to be brief.
So that means like
I was brief.
Minutes of that was you.
If you look at my guys, you should know by now. We're
trying to get. We're trying to get these in.
Also, this is going on audio. People can't see what you're sitting there and you're like,
you have to describe
doing? People listen on Spotify.
You have to describe what you're seeing. That's why it's on audio.
Jay, just remember what we're doing. That's all. And we're trying to make this like an hour.
You have to talk about the core.
This isn't a live or anything.
Yeah,
This is
I know.
That's what editing for. That's what the editing's for.
No, you make my job harder. Let's not do that anymore.
Come on, bro.
Okay?
Don't
No more
complain.
sharing
I
screens.
edit all the time. Come on, don't complain.
No
That's
more
all-
sharing.
editing is all I do.
Yeah, that should be a rule too. No sharing screens because
Jay,
AJ
your
will put in the
videos-
graphics.
Jay, your videos are 10 minutes. This one's
What are you
gonna be
talking about? My
hour
average
and a
video is 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
What are you
This is
talking
going to
about?
be an hour and a half, or 2 hours. All right. Well, Mike's got a timer on Jay now. He's going to give him a sign.
Yeah.
He's going
I'm
to
gonna
put
start
something in the
playing
private.
music like the Oscars.
You gotta
and put
get
them
the
off.
hook. You got the hook. You gotta get the hook.
The Oscars.
One day we're gonna have to put a blooper reel out or something.
We should actually. You should do a blooper short.
Topic number 2. Back in January, to address fans' concerns that Masterverse would be replaced by a new action figure line coming out in 2026 this year called Chronicles, Mattel sent He-Mania.com the following statement, quote, "While there are still Masterverse action figures in the pipeline for 2026, we will be transitioning our core offering, there's that word core, Jay, to Chronicles later this year. We will, however, also have a number of special releases planned within the Masterverse Vintage Collection. Stay tuned for more." End quote. Then, in regards to if Masterverse would continue in some shape or form in 2027, Mattel stated, quote, "I can't provide any more information at this time. You will receive information and updates as details are confirmed to be announced." End quote. So, gentlemen, if 2026 turns out to be the final year, the last year for Masterverse, how does it make us feel as individuals? And what were your favorite Masterverse figures, quickly, if any? And I'm going to pass this one off to Shane.
All right, boys. So look, I have a personal attachment to the Masterverse line. It kicked off with Motu Revelation. The first 4 figures were He-Man, Skeletor, Evelyn, and Mossman. That was throughout that whole process that I went through, both Revelation and Revolution. That was probably one of, if not the biggest highlights, was all those He-Mania leaks of the toys and silhouette, and then they get revealed. It was very exciting to see. The thing that I always wanted from, eventually working on some sort of show was some sort of action figures. And for that to be He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, I just could not have asked for anything better. I personally really love the Masterverse line. I like the new Eternia stuff. I think that it's really fun spins on characters that we know and love, rather than just the rehash that, we get time and time again. I will be, sad if it goes away, but the thing that I think I'm going to be the most disappointed about, and I think we've talked about this before, is if we don't get the final form He-Man and we don't get the Tri-Sorceress from Revolution. That is, I think, the biggest miss if those don't get released. I would hope that eventually when we re-release Origins or Classics or Vintage or whatever we re-release 10 years from now, maybe we get a cartoon collection of Motu Rev and we get some of those down the line. I'm excited for the movie lines, especially the Chronicle line. I think it looks really good as sort of like feeling like the successor to Masterverse. I'm curious to see where it goes, if they branch off of the movie from that or what. So again, I really love Masterverse. It'll always hold a very special place in my heart. I do know that these things come to an end at some point in time. And again, I'm sort of hoping for those 2 figures to get them. I would love to get those if we can. But I'm cool if it goes away. Again, just to get that first line revealed was really huge for me. And that was most of the takeaway that I'll live with Masterverse. Mike.
All right. So yeah, I'm actually kind of in the same boat as you, Shane. I don't collect Masterverse in the same sense that I collect Origins. So I'm kind of okay with it. You know, it ran its course. It had a great run. I mean, we're going on what 5+ years. I mean, it did what the vintage line did as far as length. It was kind of crazy how it branched off into so many different things. That's kind of where I don't know, and I would have liked to seen it gone a little deeper. I don't know if we got like again, I don't collect it, so did we ever get a new Eternia Stinkor or like new Eternia? We got new Eternia Webster, right? That wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we start to get a little bit deeper into these lines, they start to branch off into all these different sublines, and then it's like you don't get these characters. Like the only Stinkor we got was from Revelation, I believe, correct? So we never got a proper Stinkor in Masterverse style. So that's the only kind of weird thing with that line, and I think that's kind of what kept me from collecting it. Was it didn't really stick in one lane. It went off, and a lot of people liked that, and that's, you know, it's great. Being that Chronicles is very similar, now that we've seen that Scareglow, I mean, you can literally put that Scareglow next to any Masterverse figure and be like, oh yeah, that's Masterverse 2. It looks like its predecessor is going to just take the baton and run with it. So I'm okay with it not being called Masterverse and just being called Chronicles and continue to go. All that means is I'm going to have to buy another He-Man and Skeletor version in that line now. My favorite Masterverse figures, though. Oh, man. There's a few. I would say the new Eternia Skeletor, right? That's the one with the Viking helmet. That was probably before seeing Mondo's 2000X. That was like man, this is the best Skeletor I've seen in a long time kind of look. He looked amazing. The Too Bad. Too Bad is probably my favorite villain, and when he came out and he was oversized and just huge, I had to pick him up. And again, I cherry picked Masterverse, so picking him up was really cool. And then of course Movie Blade, kind of a little personal thing. I won that on Revealed last year, which there was another missed opportunity talking about Revealed. They didn't even give opportunity for people online anymore. It was only the people in studio that got to win stuff.
Well, considering the fact that Mike was the big winner last time, I guess Mike wanted a second chance at getting another one of those, though.
Right? Right. Yeah. So let's throw it over to Jay.
I agree.
Good. Now it's my turn.
You can go for like a minute at least. Come on.
Give us 3 minutes. Mike's got you on the clock.
You got to keep that in, though. That was all right.
Keep that in.
Okay.
We'll keep that in. We'll keep that in.
All right. If this turns out to be the final year, honestly, I would be disappointed, but only because okay. So really quickly, the vintage collection. I hope it continues at least a little bit longer. I hope we get to see at least the first 2 waves of the original cast that was released in 1982. And it would have been awesome if we would have gotten more vehicles. That would have been great. Sadly, I don't think that'll ever happen. Because I really would like to see Manny faces in vintage collection. I'm sorry, I'm just being jealous. I'm just being selfish that way. But it's true. I really would like to see characters like that, Triclops and such. I really want the movie figures to be completed in Masterverse scale. I think that's very important. I think that with all the teasers we got with Man-at-Arms, Tila, Gwildor, you know what I mean? God Skeletor, the Sorceress, right? The Skeletor's Troopers, right? Those are the ones I think we really need. But God, would I have loved to get Julie and freaking Kevin and freaking Lubick, man. That's the one character I absolutely must have one day. I think I need a freaking James Tolkien action figure in Masterverse scale. I think we all deserve that, don't we? We really all deserve that. And what are my favorite figures, if any? To be honest with you, I absolutely adore the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack of Skeletor and He-Man. They were absolutely amazing. The die-cast weapons that they came with, absolutely chef's kiss. Obviously, a lot of people are going to feel weird about flocked editions of fuzzy loincloths. Not that you should be touching fuzzy loincloths, but that's how that ended up being. But they eventually released He-Man in the in Masterverse as, again, we didn't realize it at the time, but it was part of the vintage collection. And now Skeletor has been released into the vintage collection. Try to find him, and try to find any of the vintage collection, to be honest with you. But I really do hope they actually finish off the vintage collection. I think that those two are really my favorites in terms of what they were. But if they ever release the Tri-Sorceress, oh my god! And of course, the final form of He-Man, man, at least give us those two and Havoc. We need Havoc, the Havoc Sorceress. We need her. We need her for sure. And on to AJ.
All right. Real quick, there was a great custom Lubick, Jay, that was available online a few years ago. It looked great.
I want a real one.
Yeah, no, I would want a real one too. And Shane, once we all talk after this, can you please tell me the official name of Uber He-Man? Right now, I just call him Uber He-Man and Tri-Sorceress Tila. So I need to know an official name. He-Man. Do you got one, Shane?
We didn't have an official name. Like we had a name that we used internally, but like it kind of changed throughout the production what we were actually calling it.
Okay. So Uber He-Man it is until it's not. All right, so Masterverse. Masterverse is my love. Masterverse is my love. Look, I collected classics. I know a lot of people. Oh, Jay missed out, unfortunately, on classics. I collected classics sparingly. There was a big part of my life where I got divorced, I moved out, I was dating, and I had stuff in storage, and I didn't really have an opportunity to actually create an entire collection. So I was choosy. Like one of the things I was choosy about, so I'd pick and choose, is this Granomir behind me here. I love this Granomir. It's one of my favorite figures of all time. But I didn't collect the whole line. But when Masterverse came out, first I loved Masters Universe Revelations, so I was like, I'm picking every Revelation figure, and I think there was like 35 of them. And then when other sublines came out, I was like, you know what? Like New Eternia then debuted, and I'm like, I'm not going to collect everything. Let me just start with New Eternia Skeletor. Forget about it, because I collected, I was hooked, and I collected every single Masterverse figure. Masterverse became my love affair more than any other line. And the great thing about Masterverse is it kept getting better and better. It kept improving. The New Eternia figures was so improved that a lot of them started rivaling classics. I mean, there's just no way to deny it. I look at the classics Evelyn and I look at the New Eternia Evelyn, and Evelyn stands supreme. Same thing with Snout Spout. Same thing with New Eternia Skeletor. Oh, the classics. New Ventures, I'm sorry. Skeletor. The classics New Adventures Skeletor was horrible. Had this huge chest. It was really horribly designed. So I love this line, and it's going to break my heart the day if it goes away next year, because I want to see this continue. I want to see New Eternia continue. I love the size. I love the bucks. To be honest with you, and I'm not going to pull up any images, but they were showing like the Triclops next to some Masterverse figures, and I don't like the smaller size. And the bucks feel a little narrow, even more with Scarecrow. So I'm going to miss these gigantic sizes. I'm going to miss this line if it goes away. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully there's been a lot of fan outcry regarding Masterverse sticking around, and hopefully Mattel listens. Now, in regards to my favorite figures, I actually did top 10 videos for 3 of the 5 years. I believe, guys, so far there's been 125 Masterverse figures that was released, which is just magnificent. So I didn't do a top 10 for my year 2021, but I have it here real quick. My favorite figure of the first year was the Masters Universe Revelation Triclops. I just adored this figure. I love its look. And yes, it rotates the eye. Great figure. That was for 2021. Then in 2022, it was Masters of the Universe Revelation King Grayskull. This figure is fantastic. It has the bendy wires and the cape. Look at this fur here. This fur is like a Persian kitty. Ever pet a Persian kitty? Well, you don't need one
I
now.
will admit, I also bought that figure, but
Yeah.
only to turn Clamp Champ into a Origins version. I took the head off of him and made a Origins version.
I'm pretty sure this is a PG-13, so I refuse to answer whether I had a Persian kitty.
That was 2002. 2003 was the magnificent new Eternia web store. This web store is so fantastic. These appendages can be removed. It's so versatile. The weapons can be turned. He's got crossbows. He's got guns. His, drop down hips. This Masterverse web store is translucent eyes, translucent chest plate. So well done. So well painted. That was 2003 and 2004.
So expensive.
Not if you pre-ordered it at the right time.
Yeah,
so
expensive. To Carlos,
it was $21. Year 2024 was the new Eternia Merman, and this figure is not just gorgeously painted. You can't see it through my camera, but it's got the patina effect and the copper and the armor and stuff like that. It's so gorgeous, but also the eyes follow you. It has those fish eyes that actually follow you around in the room. And it was such a brilliant figure. The sword is great too. And if you put him on Aquaman Seahorse, boy, what a combination. And then finally, in last year, I'll have to say the best figure of the year was Ninjor. This guy is great. Came with 2 different face plates, and you could have his regular face. He's got the crossbow here. He's fantastic. Neither Mike nor Jay are looking. They'll have to imagine in their eyes. So yeah, those are my favorite. I mean, I have so many favorite figures, but that was my top figure for each year. And yeah, hopefully Masterverse sticks around, but I'll be deeply brokenhearted if it goes.
I will say this about Masterverse: we'll never get it. But you mentioned your Granamir back there, man. A Masterverse Revolution Granamir would be insane.
But it'd be so huge.
It would be too big. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, something about you guys in Masters Universe Revolution. You really amped the size of Granamir.
Instead, did you guys see the Mythics Legion dragon? It kind of would remind me of like that. Like it was just giant.
I'll look it up though.
I haven't seen it, but really, yeah. But that would be cool, Shane. That would be.
It is ridiculously huge. Honestly, it's honestly, I think it's way too oversized. They were going for broke with that.
On that one.
Give me like a foot.
Mold. They wanted to break the mold with that.
2 feet, 3 feet.
Yeah, probably 2
No,
and a
it's
half,
like-
3 foot.
No, it's long. It's way long. We're talking about Mythic Legions with the tail.
Yeah, the Mythic Legion's dragon. Well, with the tail, okay, but like its body size,
6 feet long. Yeah, the damn thing is like 6 feet long. It's crazy.
Maybe it would have to be, Shane, like the Nightmare that came with Scareglow for Mondo. Yeah, that thing is gigantic. Didn't it have like a 6 foot wingspan? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. And Swiftwind is the same. Swiftwind is fucking huge. Sorry.
It could be a little undersized because Motherboard, I think, was a little smaller than what we saw on screen sometimes.
Well, she was appropriate, but yeah, she should have been a little bit bigger for sure.
Yeah.
Topic 3. It's been a couple of months since the exciting Masters Universe trailer came out and rocked our world. Now that we've each watched it multiple times, probably in the hundreds, let's find out how we feel about it now. Do we feel any differently about it than you felt before? And, we actually did the last Eternia 4 the day before the trailer dropped. So we never got to hear from old Shaner. Let's go to Shaner first. Shane, what did you think of that trailer?
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, listen, I was disappointed not to join that live review, but I have watched this hundreds of times at this point. Here's what I'll say. All my nitpicks still exist. Nothing has changed for me there. I still wish He-Man was bigger. When he does the I have the power, it's like the only shot in the whole trailer where he has like the most defined abs you've ever seen in your life, and then everywhere else it's not. But again, that's just a nitpick. I am more excited post seeing this than I was before I saw it. Big things for me Obviously, we don't know for sure, but the Earth stuff sort of getting explained. It feels very much like that's just going to kind of be how we are introduced to Adam, and we are going to go to Eternia after that. Again, could be wrong. It's just how I felt. Visually speaking, I cannot believe what they did here in the best way possible. The fact that the characters look like the characters and not some sort of like modern, sort of like regurgitated like spin on the characters, I thought was incredible. Spikor, Fisto, Battle Cat, Skeletor, everybody I just think looks so good. And there's so much eye candy, so much stuff that you miss the first 3 times you watch the trailer. And every time you watch it, you're like, oh shit, I didn't see that. That's so cool, Travis Knight, I think, is, again, with the work that he's done at Laika, I guess the best way to describe the way that I felt after watching the trailer was this feels like a live action version of the show. This feels like a live action version of a cartoon in the most respectful way possible. The fact that they're talking about leaning into sort of the campy goofiness of the IP, I love that. So I think having someone who's coming from an animation background direct this live action version of this cartoon was a hugely great choice by whoever made that. The end of it, you get to the title and then we get those shots of He-Man and Skeletor fighting. You get that shot of, whoever's standing on the Snake Mountain tongue there. Like, man, oh man, that got me so hyped. June 5th, cannot get here quick enough. Again, I've watched this thing on repeat. I was really hoping today we were going to get a new version. I do still hope we get another trailer before it releases. I would be shocked if we don't. But if this is all we get, I can tell you that I'm going to be walking into that theater more excited than I was at any other episode we have recorded. Again, seeing is believing sometimes, and trailers can be deceiving, but everything that I've seen, read, and continue to sort of like hear about the movie, I am generally very happy with. And I am going to throw it to Jay. Hurry up.
I agree.
Perfect.
Actually,
I'll
Jay,
pass it
that was
over
a
to
little
Mike.
long. That was a little too long. If you could shorten that up next time.
Just I.
Or agree.
Yes.
I pass it over to Mike.
All right. Come on, Jay. You're on the
Yeah,
clock.
you can
No,
give yourself
you-
3 minutes.
I'm mostly serious. No, seriously, I do agree. Do I feel any different about it right now? Not really. I'm just as excited now as I saw it before. Do I want another trailer? To be honest with you, not really. The reason I don't want another trailer right now is because I think the last trailer showed us quite a bit. Do I want to know a little bit more about what's going to happen to certain characters? Yeah, but I'm actually pretty satisfied with this. And as we talked about earlier before, I think that this was supposed to be the Super Bowl trailer, and they just gave it to us as a gift. And you know what? I think that June cannot come any faster. Seriously. Over to Mike.
I 100% agree. I am just as hyped as what was it, January 21st or whatever when it came out. I recorded myself watching that trailer for the first time. It was literally mind blown. I was almost speechless. I was like, I look over at my wife and was like, I was struggling to even just like come up with something to say for, I knew I was recording myself. I'm like, what do I say? I'm just mind blown. Yeah, June 5th. I mean, let's pit stop March 23rd and 24th for a little while. We'll chill there for a moment, and then we'll get June 5th. AJ, what do we think?
I like the trailer. I like it very much. Okay, so I've watched it so much and with so much scrutiny and with like a surgeon, like some sort of forensic scientist that's kind of like just sort of numb to me now. It just all blends together. And I think I ruined the actual trailer for me. It's a great trailer. I love it. But like a perfect example, I had posted, you guys probably saw this today where I posted there out of all the Skeletroopers, when the collector lands, and there's a line of Skeletroopers on the left, and there's a line of Skeletroopers on the right, and Skeletor's going to walk down. One of them doesn't have a mask. He's human, and he has an actual face and possibly blonde hair. And could that be Glitch from the film? Because, we know that Travis Knight is emulating the Filmation cartoon as much as he can. Could that be a human recruit, Or could that be someone Prince Adam knows, and when he comes back, feels betrayed? Maybe he was his best friend as a little child, And this was just something I found in the last 24 hours, like really scrutinizing it. So that's what I constantly do. But maybe to back away from it, I still love the trailer. It's fantastic. There are a few changes I would like to make. Yes, like the brown filter on Spikor. Okay, there's a brown filter going on in that room where Fisto is punching like the Skelenites. And there's Fisto, and he looks like he's more brown than usual, And I was able to remove some of that brown filter, and I was like, lo and behold, purple. Because in the Empire magazine, that famous cover story of Masters of the Universe, the guy said, hey, he's purple, and he's got spikes. He sure didn't look like purple in that trailer, and I think it has something to do with that filter. So I would have removed that filter so fans wouldn't have been worried that Spikor wasn't going to be purple. What else? Oh, and I know I mentioned this before in He-Maniacs. Geez, I would have incorporated that freaking 20 seconds of that 30-second teaser where you get to see the 80s again. This was cereal back in the 80s. This was a workout. You see all the leg warmers in there kicking. And this is what you watched on television. And there was the Filmation show with He-Man raising the sword and saying, by the power of Grayskull. And then the narrator says, but now, maybe it's time, or we're in the most need of having a hero like this again. And it still gives me chills every time I see that. And I would love if that 20 seconds stayed within this new trailer, and that's the way you got to see it in its entirety. Because, to be honest with you, that's maybe my favorite moment out of this whole trailer experience. Out of everything I got to saw, I just loved that sort of callback, and it was really beautiful to me. So, if anything, I would have incorporated that into the main trailer. But other than that, yeah, I'm still in love with it, but I'm just sort of numb to it. I've kind of ruined it for myself.
Just wait till the entire movie comes out, man. You're gonna be a busy, busy boy.
Yeah, he's gonna
be like new rock stars on a Marvel movie, man. You're gonna be up all night, just
CSI forensics. He's gonna go with the fine-tooth comb
with a magnifying glass. Yeah, I did that with Masters Universe Revolution. Shane, you don't have to comment. And I found Blade, if you guys remember. I found Blade in Masters Universe Revolution. With the technovirus. And but you have to be there up like on a big screen frame by frame and looking at the characters in the background and stuff like that, like a mental patient. That's I'm crazy like that. But you're right, when the movie comes out, there's gonna be some sleepless nights, me studying every scene, but you know what, that's part of the fun, at least for me.
Right.
Lots of people mentioned this, and I don't know why they didn't do it, but they really missed that opportunity to put Cringer in the MGM Lion roar.
Yes.
Or Battle
They still might do that for the movie, though.
Yeah.
That was a good point, though, about it'd be really cool if they started off doing, this was a healthy breakfast, this was a workout, and this was a hero, and then like the TV kind of goes into white, and then it goes into the actual trailer, like widens out to a full widescreen. That would have been cool, because I think starting off on that vintage TV, it's like now every kid had the freaking boob tube freaking TV back in the day, and that's what we watched He-Man on. And it was really it kind of hits you. And then with that Filmation music that was kind of playing in the background, that would have been a really cool start to it.
gets you hyped, and it has me convinced that definitely there is a deal between Mattel and NBC Universal in regards to the Filmation property. So, which is cool.
Well, guys, finally, we end the show with another installment of our show and tell. Today, we asked the group to pick one item in their collection that is Master Universe related or not. Quickly show us and tell us why you love it. So I'm going to send this over to AJ.
Okay. I didn't know I was going to go first. So you guys know I'm a huge Predator fan. Okay. But in regards to what my favorite Predator movie is, it's across the grain. I mean, most people pick the 1987 classic film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, "Get to the Chopper," Predator, right? But my favorite movie is fucking Voodoo Magic Man, Predator 2, starring Danny Glover. And I love that movie. That movie is crazy. It's insane. The Predator, it basically the creators of Predator, Jim and John Thomas, they wrote two movies, Predator and Predator 2. And Predator 2 became, and they said, would be the Bible of the universe. And that's really what made me fall in love with Predator. At the end of Predator 2, when Danny Glover would actually beat the Predator in this Predator ship that felt like you were in a living embryo, it was this gold and brown, and it felt like it was breathing, and that was done on purpose. It made it feel like the ship was alive. When he defeated the enemy, suddenly all these Predators appear, right? And I was fascinated because they carried the body off of the Predator that Danny Glover defeated, and they let him live, and I'm like, what kind of villain? This is not Jason. This is not Freddy Krueger. What kind of villain, out of respect? You killed one of our own fair and square, and here's a gun, a flintlock. We're going to reward you for it, right? That's when I fell in love with Predator, because it was so interesting to me. The culture, the honor, they wouldn't kill someone who's pregnant. So, knowing that I love Predator 2, Hot Toys offers the Predators, and I have the Lost Predator, the Elder Predator, which is the old one that throws the flintlock. I also have the City Hunter, the actual star of the movie. But what they did not offer was Danny Glover. But there was someone, a customizer called Cross Designs, that created Savage Hunter Mike. That's what he was called. The character of Danny Glover's name was Mike Harrigan, and it's but the toy itself is Savage Hunter Mike. And they did a great likeness. I guess I should maybe expand this. They did a great likeness of Danny Glover's face. And he has the little frisbee that he fights the Predator in, and the clothes, the pants, the nice shoes. And this is my Mike Harrigan. This is exactly the clothes he wore in the film, and this is my Mike Harrigan replica figure, and I love it. It's not official, but boy, it really looks like it's official. They did whoever sculpted this Danny Glover face did a fantastic job. They probably should have done Lethal Weapon as well, right? People would have loved that. Maybe they did. So. And that's mine. Let me see. Who am I going to pass it off? I passed it off to Mike and Shane already. So now I'm going to pass it off to Jay.
You don't do those things when people are drinking. That's not a cool thing. Okay. I do agree with you though. Like definitely the thing about Predator 2 as well is that I love the tagline. He's in town with a few days to kill. I was so enamored by that. I had an art assignment in class when I was I think it was in grade. What would it have been? It would have been grade 8 or 8 or 9, something like that. I was still in elementary school. I don't know, but yeah, I did a whole poster on that, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, he's in town with a few days to kill. I remember that being very.
It's a great tagline. Great.
It is a great tagline. All right, so you guys will share this surprise together, I guess. I have two boxes that came in. and I have no idea what's in them because generally this is what tends to happen. I just receive boxes. I have no freaking clue what's inside them. They happen to be right beside me, so I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's experience this together, guys. So here we go. We're opening up the first one.
Impromptu.
This was fully planned. This was fully planned. I have no idea what the heck we're getting into here. All right, first one. Don't know where it's coming from because I didn't see the label. Don't know what's in it because I haven't even bothered.
What if it's like the lingerie you ordered?
It doesn't vibrate. I'm pretty sure.
Version kitty.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty sure.
Well done, Shane. Well done.
It's one of them. It's definitely one of them. All right. Well, now I know what it is, and it's not going to be too exciting. So I'm going to open up the second one. Hopefully, that's more exciting. This is.
Someone explain the topic to Jay.
It's Stone.
Stone Dar.
It's Stone Dar.
Okay.
So that one's not that exciting, but this one is probably going to be very exciting. So this is the one I think we're going to have a lot of fun with.
Mike,
let's find out.
Send him the memo. It was showing
the Eternia FOUR.
Not unboxed.
What's in the box? What's in the box? All right. So, haven't seen who sent this to me. I have no idea. So let's see if it's worth the trouble of opening it. I don't even remember ordering this. I don't think I ordered this. I don't know what this is. I might have to return. This to center. It might be that Symbian I ordered like years ago. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, Hollywood!
We're playing them off, guys. We're playing them off.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, they're playing. Oh, that was you, Mike. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right, so
went over the time limit, guys.
Yeah, and make sure you're very descriptive, Jay, because this is
it is well packed.
Okay,
it is very, very well packed.
The box is well packed. He's taking the paper out.
Full of packing material.
We see bubble wrap.
Yep, we're seeing bubble wrap. We're seeing a lot of tissue.
Okay, so there's multiple packages in here actually. So
care package.
Where's that music, Mike?
All right.
Okay, this is gonna. There's another package. And hold on, there are multiple packages. What the heck? Whatever this is, I might have to return this because I don't know what this is. These are. Hold on.
He's showing, but he ain't telling.
Did you used to do this at school? At show and tell?
Yeah, I used to get in trouble a lot.
I brought some boxes. I don't know what's inside them.
All right, I guess we'll start with this one. So, any guesses since we got these things? Any guesses what this might be?
X-Men.
You don't know?
There you go.
All right, ready? I don't even know who sent these to me because I didn't order these. That's for sure. All right, boys, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Mask. Oh, a helicopter.
Someone just sent you that? What the heck?
Oh, crap.
You sure you didn't order that?
All right, I know what this is. I know what these are. I was contacted by loyal subjects about 2 months ago, and they said, "Would you be interested in taking a look at the new mask toys that we have?" And I was like,
"They sent it to you?"
I was like, "Heck Mike, yeah, why not? Let's have a look." And I heard
Mike 2 months ago.
2 months ago, yeah. So I was like, 2 months ago, I totally forgot.
Because we
These
were just
unappreciative influencers that just get stuff for free and then just sits in boxes for 2 months.
That's yeah. Mike and I are butthurt.
Unreal.
Oh, cool. So that other influencers get free toys from Mattel that have just sit on it for months, and they're like,
I have never, for the record, I've never seen anything from Mattel except for the Empire magazine, which they sent to me the other day. So there's a Thunderhawk as well.
Wow. You better get talking about those.
Now you're gonna have to do a review of all of these.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're expecting a review, so I'm definitely going to be doing something with these.
Okay.
Oh wow! Holy crap! That's the limited edition. this was a limited edition T-ball.
Yeah, that's the SDCCU.
Yeah, the SDCC exclusive. Yeah.
SDCC exclusive right there. What the heck, man?
Well, you guys wanted to know. You guys wanted something different, right? So
This segment isn't show off; it's show and tell. Look at these freebies I got.
I have no idea.
$200.
All right,
just
so there you
don't
go.
even know what they are. I get so many freebies.
Unreal. Wow.
All right, are you ready to pass it off there, Jay?
So hold on. Just so I talked to them 2 months ago, and they arrived yesterday. So these I picked these up like over the week. Sorry, not yesterday. I picked these up on the week.
Well done, Mike. Well done. All right, that was Jay,
I'm
everybody.
gonna pass. Since Mike has been my serenade, I will pass it off to Mike.
Actually brought for show and tell something because Jay in every video ends his video with go follow Mike, Eternia Royalty. You know, he just procured a Beastman bobblehead. So that's what I wanted to bring to show and tell because Jay is in love with this thing. Something I have that he's jealous of.
I am jealous. That's probably one of the
I'm
only
jealous of all the
Funko
mask
Pops.
stuff you just showed off.
That's probably one of the only
Seriously.
Funko Pops I would actually consider buying. To be
Hey,
honest,
Jay, he'll trade. Mike will trade.
Yeah, give me that SDCC exclusive mask. Oh no, we got laugh track. Nice. But yeah,
wow, this is really going on. Go ahead.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to really quickly show because I still need to do a post of this. I picked this up at Geeking Out last month in February, and oh my god, I am in love with this thing. Beautiful artwork. It actually has Errol McCarthy's artwork all over it. Like, oh, there we go. Like, look at that. Oh, you know, Tila and Man at Arms battling Beastman in front of Castle Grayskull there.
That's awesome.
So good, so good. And you can actually, it's crazy because it has the little thing here to shine light through. Obviously, it won't work on here so well, but if you were to look in there, oh, you can see him.
yeah, you can see it. Oh shoot!
There he is.
Oh, it works. So
That's
anyone who's
crazy.
just listening, Mike is holding a ViewMaster to the camera, and we can actually see the ViewMaster inside.
How is
the
it
reel.
doing that?
Wow.
And that-
awesome.
There's a window on the back that allows light to go through. So
No, but what I mean is like it's not even moving. You're moving, but the image is like
3D
perfect still.
actually. If you guys could see it, like if
So
you know you were
cool.
here, it's
Well, you
kinda
need two eyes
three-dimensional.
for 3D.
The He-Man is actually 3-dimensional in there.
Yeah. Well,
Really,
we won't
really
see that.
cool. Like I am in love with this piece. Probably one of my favorite vintage things that I own.
That's awesome.
And we will finish it off with old Shaner.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to follow. I'm not gonna lie. That is really cool, Mike. Really cool. I do have a couple to show. This is the Transformers Gigawatt that I just picked up on sale at Walmart.
That is a really cool toy. That is
Yeah.
an amazing toy.
I really like it a lot.
Yeah, that is really cool. Gigawatt.
Yeah, really cool. And then I also have the Origin
Oh yeah.
40th anniversary set.
40th anniversary 4-pack.
You know, I always kick myself because it went on sale, and I only got one, and I should have got the second one when it went on sale.
I didn't get it. I missed it. And then my girlfriend got this for me as a gift. But it's quite a nice box. It is a really, really, really nice little set here.
Yeah, they love those little TV guides, like all the little shows they came up with and stuff. So
really,
so
really,
great.
really cool.
You know, I was on the fence of getting that, and I didn't like the look of the Filmation He-Man. So,
It's understandable.
yeah.
But that's going to be a sleeper item, unfortunately. Like seriously, that's going to be a sleeper item. I know it went on sale a couple of times, but the reality is that those like whatever happens to them, there's either going to be a ton of them or there's going to be none of them, right? So because they'll either have to destroy the stock or get rid of it in the landfill or whatever.
Did it finally sell out, or is it still on the website? I wonder.
Man, it's as far as I know, a lot of them went to Ollie's. Like I'm not joking about that. Apparently, a lot of them went to Ollie's, right? So, like I said, there's either going to be a ton of them or there's going to be very few of them. So people are going to be kicking themselves if they don't get that.
Yep. Oh, I just have a package here. Oh, I'm like Jay. Oh, look. Let's see what's inside. Look at the Vaseline, guys. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know who sent that to me, but whoever did, thank you very much.
I love the fact that AJ just has that hanging around somewhere.
It was actually to address a little scratch I have for you guys. If you remember, or Micah, I think knows. There was a little Mattel, I think by Tiger, LCD. No, it's Mattel Electronics LCD game. And what will happen is if you have a little scratch in an LCD, Vaseline actually makes the scratch disappear.
Yeah, I think it fills in the
it fills in.
Interesting.
Yep. So.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations, guys! Like a great segment. Obviously, I had no idea what I was doing, but well, that's it. We would like to thank everyone.
Oh wait! Does Shane says bye?
Oh, sorry.
He's in charge. So
later, homies. This is Eternia FOUR. Peace out. We love y'all.
That's Shane. I'm AJ.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Jay.
And Shane says this is the Eternia FOUR.
This is the Eternia FOUR.